Good evening, everyone. Give a few more minutes and we'll go live here. We're live. A few more minutes and we'll get started here in a minute. Give me a few more minutes, y'all, and we'll get started. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started, and we'll have folks hop on whenever they can. So I want to start out as giving y'all a brief live stream here, going over the severe weather that's coming in late next week, earlier this week actually, because Sunday starts a new week. Anyways, so you've got this big broad area of a slight risk area here by the SPC here. That's stretching up from Iowa down to the Gulf Coast. Now, I want to warn y'all here that things are going to change with this outlook. I really expect that this slight risk will probably reach up to probably around here as well. Let me tell y'all the reason why I think that slight risk will expand to the north a little bit, and then we get a broad 30, and then why I think, let's get the orange here, why I think that we are going to have a large 30% hatched, a large 30% hatched, 30% hatched significant severe weather probabilities coming in to tomorrow, probably by the tomorrow outlooks, the day 4 and 5 outlook by tomorrow, 5 and 6 outlook by tomorrow. So I expect a 30% risk area. I do expect this to become a very rare high risk of severe weather as we get to day 1. With the kinematics in place that we're going to be having with this system, really alarms the bell that we're going to have a significant severe weather event across most of the country here. Not most of the country, but most of the central and portions of the eastern half of the United States. But now, I just wanted to give y'all the severe weather outlook for day. This is for day 6. Piper. Shh. Piper. Anyways, I wanted to give y'all, so that's the day, that's day 6, and here's day 7. Day 7, it does march to the east. Day 7, we do have another 15% risk area, and I do expect this to go a bit to the north and to the east, and a bit east northeast as well, and I expect a broad area of a 30% hatched area as well for day 7. So just stay tuned to your local meteorologist, and of course here as well, follow me and we'll get you through the storm. So now let's get to the model data. I'll be right back, y'all. No. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. So back to the model data. So we're gonna go ahead and look at the 500 millibars here. We'll go ahead and look at the nationwide 500 millibar heights here, and this is giving you a brief depiction of the jet stream here. You've got elongated jet stream that's going in somewhere like this here, elongated jet stream like that, and if you got your subtropical jet with the system that's coming in later in here, that's kind of going in like this. So you've got a severe weather risk that's going on across the southeast United States right now, somewhere around here, and then you've got your northern jet stream riding along that severe risk right now. So with the severe weather that's going there, I know it's not a big severe risk today around that area, but if something pops up, I'll be here to watch it as well. Let's go back. Let's go forward here, and as we go forward here, this is about. So we go to Tuesday here. We go to Tuesday here, and you can see we have our leading shortwave. You got the jet stream that's starting to break off here to the north. There's that shortwave that's coming off across the southeastern United States today that's impacting all the rain across the southeastern United States and the northern Gulf Coast. Here's Wednesday into Thursday. Now, Wednesday, Thursday, we do have a sneaky low pressure that's going to start coming in, and a trough that's going to be coming in on the um, 12th and 13th. I do think that's going to produce some severe weather, but I don't think it's going to be as big as what we're going to have on Friday and Saturday, maybe Sunday as well. Now, as the leading shortwave goes in, you've got your northern trough that's coming in like that, and here comes big boy trough for Friday and Saturday there. Also, as we go forward, there's Thursday. May bring some severe weather, I think, in this general area right up through here around Wednesday, Thursday time frame, and then then that big trough starts to slam into the west coast of California there. This is the 12Z GFS model here. So I will show y'all what the other models think about Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday, what the other models think. So going over that, you've got the trough that's kind of going to a positive tilt by Friday afternoon there, but then it starts to go to negative tilt by the time we go into about mid morning and late morning on Friday. Starts to go negative tilt. There's your low pressure right here. Let me redo that. Hold on, y'all. Your negative tilt here. Here's your low pressure here. Guys, we're going to have strong winds around this low pressure here. This low pressure is going to have so much strong winds with it that you're maybe seeing 70 to 80 mile per hour winds with this storm system. This is going to break barometric pressure records right here. So you could see a low sub 50, sub 950s. I think the 960s will make sense, but it's still going to break some records here. Back-to-back systems breaking that barometric pressure records as we go 2 systems in a row. Now, that first system does move off to the east, and then we got another system that we're going to have to keep an eye on here too. I hate going out long range here, but with the storm systems, with the storm pattern we're heading into now, I really think that we're going to be starting seeing more severe weather through late March and in early April as well. With the zonal jet stream that we've been dealing with the last few weeks and stuff, that is going to start to break off, and then you're going to start seeing trough after trough coming in. And then you see this one right here. It's not as strong as the last couple ones has been, but the last couple of troughs has been. But on the 25th, it's way out of range. We're looking at 300 plus hours out right here. But you can see the typical pattern we're heading into with multiple low pressure systems coming in and bringing that chance of severe weather radius according to the GFS model. Now let's look at the 850 millibars, which is your low level jet. This is your low levels. Get my pen back out here. So this is your low level jet. The 850s millibars are showing what is it doing at the surface. Like, what are the winds doing at the surface? Is it going really fast with the system that's going about 500 millibars? So 500 millibars, you've got strong winds about 14,000 feet in the air, about 1,400 feet. But then you go down to the surface, and you've got different wind shades and wind directions here, and you've got southwest flow that's feeding into the 850 millibars, and then you've got your surface low that's going to be cutting into that as well. So Let's continue talking about this. This is Wednesday. This is why I don't think Wednesday is going to be a big tornado day. Big tornado day is going to be Friday, Saturday, and early Monday or early morning Sunday. But we could possibly have a low end tornado risk on Wednesday and early morning Thursday before that low pressure does dissolve, and then that big low pressure does go on its heels and starts to intensify that low pressure. Now, the last couple of runs I have seen by Wednesday and Thursday, that the Wednesday and Thursday is now not looking as impressive as it was a few runs ago. The 12Z model run, it still has 1,000 cape, but it doesn't have that much widespread convection that's going to be coming into that. So it doesn't have as much storms. But Friday and Saturday, we are going to be dealing with a bigger storm system, a bigger low-level jet, and a bigger troughing that's coming in. And you can see what it does. We've got knots of 72 knots of a low-level jet there just east of the Mississippi. And then that low-level jet really kicks in across the East Coast there, about North Carolina there, 66, 70 knots. So just keep an eye on the weather there. And I also want to go ahead and take a look at the height anomalies. This is your 850. This is your 850 millibar height anomalies. 500 millibar height anomalies. So there's that first system moving off this weekend. There's that Wednesday, Thursday time frame system there. And then you've also got this system right here. There's your big boy system right here at 500 millibar height anomalies. You've got pretty much a pretty stout low pressure that's going to be coming in there. And then we could have another one on that next weekend, and we'll get into that as we get closer to that system. But we're not going to pay attention to that system right now. We're going to pay attention to what's going on Friday and Saturday. But now, let's go ahead and look at the dew points here. No need to look at temperatures. We know temperatures are going to be warm. We're going to have and I also want to mention a blizzard conditions on the backside of this low pressure. Whoops, let me go back. So I do want to mention we do got blizzard conditions on the backside of this system. It just depends on where the track of that low does go. So we're going to get to know details as we get confined to the details, but our attention is severe weather risk right now. So let's go forward to Wednesday. You can see Wednesday morning we have dew points in the 40s. You've got dew points now starting to reach up into the dew points of 40s across St. Louis area, 35 there just south of Bloomington, Illinois. And then this is by Thursday morning. You've got dew points rising up to the low 50s, mid 50s there. You've got 60-degree low dew points there in northern Louisiana, and then combined to the Gulf Coast, mid 50s across Arkansas and those surrounding states, and the states to the north of that as well. Now, as we head to Friday, this is going to be why we get in. This is when we're going to get into nowcasting. What happens to the northern sector here? What happens to the moisture? What happens with the winds? Wherever the track of that low goes, it's going to really depend. It's really going to depict on what happens with the severe weather on the northern mode of the storm. So we're going to have a northern mode here. Actually, we're going to have a northern mode right somewhere in this vicinity there. And then we're going to have a southern mode somewhere in this vicinity. Actually, we're going to have a southern mode from St. Louis, I'd say from this area right down here. Somewhere in that vicinity, we're going to have a huge severe weather outbreak possible in that area. We're going to have, I do expect the 30% risk area, like I was saying in the beginning of the live stream, to be issued by tomorrow morning. Now, as we head to Saturday, Friday night, and Saturday morning, that cold front really starts to come to the east. Now we're talking about severe weather now, east of the Mississippi, say from Kentucky all the way down to the Gulf Coast here, all the way east into the Carolinas as well, and down to the Florida Panhandle. If you're in this area, please keep an eye on your local meteorologist for the later updates, as well as your National Weather Service too. Your National Weather Service as well. Keep an eye on the Storm Prediction Center for later updates from them, as well in the later outlooks as they put them out. Because Saturday will really depend on what goes on Friday. Um, Saturday will really depend on what's going on Friday, because what happens on Friday will really tell us what kind of event we'll have on Saturday now. So just keep an eye on that, and then we'll talk about what happens after we get through this one event as well. So just be careful. Let's go ahead and take a look. Let's go ahead and take a look at the precipitation types here, and we'll go through that as well. Yeah, so these are your precipitation types. You can see there's that first system that comes through. There's Wednesday that comes through as well. Wednesday looking not as big, but then you go to then you can see, look at the GFS model does here. This is what's been concerning me about the northern mode. You've got your low pressure here. You've got the snow on the backside. You've got enough wind shear, enough southwest flow here to increase the supercell and a crazy supercell tornado threat across this area right in through here, across near the surface low. And then you've got supercells that could happen and break down into a line of storms eventually eastward. So Friday is going to be a day that we're going to have to keep an eye on. I think Friday is going to be our bigger day. And then on the backside, you've got heavy sleet and rain, heavy sleet, freezing rain, and heavy snow on the backside as blizzard conditions wrap around the backside of the system. Now, so that is your low pressure there according to the GFS. You go to the European model. European model is a lot further to the I'd say a lot further south, but it has that general direction like the GFS does. But it's a lot bullish on the low pressure. It has a lot more thunderstorms as the GFS does, and it's got a lot more instability to work with as well. So what I'm basically saying about instability wise, we're going to have the storm field, guys. The storm field is going to lock. Storm field is a lock right now. It's just the depiction of where does that low go? Where does the low start to settle down and start to move off and start to eject off here? Excuse me. So where does that low start to eject off? So that is our big question. I'm not going to show y'all where we could actually. Let's just go and look at instability for both models. So there's a system that the European really wants the severe event on Wednesday and Thursday, and then you go to Friday. Look at Friday. You've got 1,000 instability all the way up to like the Minneapolis, St. Paul area. And you've got enough instability to see severe weather all the way up to Duluth and International Falls, Minnesota as well. But then you go to the southern mode. In that southern mode, you've got enough, about 2,000 to 3,000 instability to get a significant severe weather event and a tornado outbreak likely with this one as well. So that's why I'm saying the instability is a lock with this. The moisture is about I'd say about 70 to 80% lock right now on the instability. Not instability, on the moisture transport, because it's going to be hard to see where does that low go and where does the warm sector go as well. How far north does that warm sector go as well? So just to wrap things up here, we are looking at a severe weather outbreak and a tornado outbreak late this week. And I want y'all to keep informed on the severe weather. Please check with the SPC for later outlooks and get prepared for, and make sure you'll have y'all's storm shelters cleaned out as well. That's another thing I want to talk about is severe weather awareness. Make sure you have a way to get warnings. Make sure you have your phone ready to get warnings as well. Don't rely on those outdoor sirens. Only those for outdoors, or those outdoor sirens are only made for those outdoors. So y'all have a great day, and I'll catch y'all later for another live stream. Y'all